this is what a 300-inch screen looks like. Incredible. And I genuinely didn't think this could happen, because with setups like this, there's always usually a catch. You get the size, but then something else always takes a hit. And usually, it's the one thing you actually care about. So you kind of learn to work around it. You choose what you watch carefully, you accept certain things won't look quite right, and you just kind of deal with it. But this time, that didn't happen. And it's when it started to feel a bit strange, because this isn't even a TV. I mean, look at this. Normally, a scene like this, on a product like this, everything lifts slightly. Blacks go grey, you lose that depth, and the whole image just feels a bit flatter. But here, it doesn't. And at first I thought, this has to be processing. It has to be kind of faking it in some way, because it didn't really behave like your standard projector. So I started testing it in more detail, with different content. Netflix, films, YouTube, sport, gaming even. And I started to really push it. Dark scenes, bright scenes, mixed content, and it just kept doing the same thing. And that's when it clicked. It's how it's actually working. This is the Titan Noir Max from XGIMI, and they sent it over for me to try, and what this is actually doing is something that most setups simply can't, because most projectors don't actually control light properly. They just dim or boost the whole image digitally, so blacks never really get black, and bright scenes start to wash things out. This doesn't do that. And the main reason why is because it's got what's known as a dual iris system, which basically means it's physically controlling light inside the projector in real time, almost like a camera aperture, and that's why it feels different. One iris controls how much light is actually produced overall, and the other iris controls how much of that light is then allowed through the lens. So instead of just dimming or brightening the whole image, it's adjusting light properly at the source. Darker scenes, it closes down, so blacks get deeper, and brighter scenes, it opens up, so you don't lose out on brightness. And it's doing that constantly, scene by scene, and part of that is what XGIMI call zero latency precision. Gaming is another big one, because this is where a lot of traditional projectors, again, fall apart. Input lag, motion, responsiveness. This doesn't. You've got up to 240 Hz and as low as 1 millisecond response time at 1080p. VRR, ALLM, so it actually feels fast, not just good for a projector, just good. Then if we delve a little bit deeper, we've got a full RGB triple layer system, which basically means instead of relying on a traditional light source, you're getting pure red, green and blue lasers generating the image, so colours look cleaner, more accurate and way more vivid. On top of that, it's super bright, like retina burning. I'm joking, of course, it won't do any damage, but you've got up to 7,000 ISO lumens, and that's the difference between something looking good in a dark room and something actually holding up in a normal living space, even in a well-lit room like this here. You've also got full 4K, so everything stays sharp even at those larger sizes. You've got Dolby Vision, HDR10+, IMAX Enhanced, Filmmaker Mode, and Dynamic Tone Mapping, so it's not just displaying HDR, it's actively adjusting brightness and contrast scene by scene, so highlights don't get blown out and shadows keep their detail. You've got full 3D support, and anti-RBE tech which reduces that rainbow flicker that some people see on projectors, and you've also got proper 24 FPS support, so all those wonderful cinematic movies that you love play back the way they're meant to. So on paper, this thing is absolutely stacked, but also at this point, and when you're starting to then consider possibly using it instead of a TV, you then start digging even deeper. You start to really nitpick. You start to look for those possible cons that you won't get or possibly might not get on a TV. When you truly start noticing all the little details, both good and bad. The remote, for example. Look at that for some editing. Really nice metal body, good weight to it, firm, premium, clicky buttons, but the battery compartment, for example, feels a little bit flimsy. And there's no built-in TV system, so you're plugging in a Chromecast or Fire or Apple TV, which isn't a deal breaker, but at this price point is something you might expect. It's also not the most portable setup either. It's big, it's heavy, and you don't really have loads of flexibility with positioning, especially as you can't just tilt it up and down to adjust the image. But this is where this machine does a lot of the work for you. Auto Keystone straightens the image if it's not perfectly aligned. Autofocus keeps the image sharp consistently. Screen alignment detects your screen and fits the image to it. You've also got proper optical zoom, which means you can change the size of the image without losing any quality, which is a pretty big deal. Most projectors could never. And obstacle avoidance will actually move or resize the image if something's in the way. So even if your setup isn't perfect, it handles most of it automatically. And after a few days, I stopped thinking about some of those possible cons, especially because the projector itself is not trying to be small or hidden or necessarily that flexible. It's big, it's solid, it's over 8 kilos, so it feels like something built to stay. And the why behind the OS choice is, according to XGIMI, a performance-first decision. This machine is built for an entirely different purpose. It's a dedicated flagship home cinema, not just a bit of casual streaming. By using AOSP, or Android Open Source Project, they've basically stripped away a lot of the background processes that a Google TV OS, for example, would have to do. So 100% of the computing power is dedicated strictly to the image processing engine. And as a core display hub, it's designed to work perfectly with Apple TV, Blu-ray players, and consoles, etc. It's high-end hardware for the best seamless integration with third-party content ecosystems. The Titan Noir Max can also scale from its massive 300-inch screen all the way down to about 40 inches, and as an example, for most smallish rooms, you can place it roughly between around 2 and 4 meters away from your surface and still get something like a 100-inch image. Round the back, you have 3 HDMI ports with eARC, USB 2.0 and 3.0, gigabit LAN, optical out, audio out, and it also has Wi-Fi 6 and Bluetooth 5.2, so whether it's consoles or streaming boxes or even a full AV setup, just kind of works. Even the audio is built in with 2 12-watt Harman Kardon speakers with DTS Virtual X, Dolby Audio, and DTS HD. All of this is premiumly boxed up, where you get the projector, remote, batteries, power cable, manual, and warranty. And this is where the whole thing lands, because this machine fixes that one main compromise that nigh on most projectors currently all have, that we just accept. The picture quality just doesn't get anywhere close to a high-end TV. But once you realise with this, that gap starts to close with this level of contrast, and colour, and features and flexibility. You stop really thinking of this as a projector and you start using it like your main screen. And that's not something I actually expected to say. Now, of course, elephant in the room, for a truly top-tier premium cinema-esque experience like this, it's not going to be cheap. And for context, for a dual iris type system, most high-end 4K projectors with this technology typically start from around 7,000 USD, which I can appreciate is pretty eye-watering. The Titan Noir Max retail price is still a pretty substantial $5,999. However, there is a Kickstarter deal from the 23rd of April, and those who reserve one now can save a whopping 3,200 USD, which then puts this at a significant entry point for this level of optics. So if you do want a true cinema powerhouse, this looks like a cracking deal. And for more info, I will leave a link in the video description below. My name's Adam. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, drop a like, subscribe for more content like this. I love you and leave you. I'll see you in the next one. ASBYT, peace out.